What is pointed to is not a practice, not a belief, not a story, not a God, not a state. It is immediate reality in which all experience arises. It cannot be approached by silence, by meditation, by inquiry, by effort, or by surrender. Not because these are wrong, but because approaching already assumes a distance. Let's look carefully. Meditation. Meditation is often presented as a way to reach peace, clarity, or truth. But what actually happens? For a scientific view, meditation alters brain states, attention stabilizes or narrows, the default mode network quiets, stress responses reduce. These are functional changes, not revelations of something new. Meditation refines experience, it does not uncover a hidden reality. The one who meditates remains. The intention to improve remains. The idea of a future remains. And what remains still ages, still gets old, and still dies. The fear remains, so meditation is not discovery, it is regulation. Useful for the nervous system, not a doorway to which is prior to the nervous system. Silence. Silence is often mistaken for depth, but silence is simply the absence of sound or the reduction of internal verbalization, the internal talk. Neuroscience shows inner speech can pause, sensory input can dominate, thought can slow. Yet awareness does not increase or decrease, only content change. Silence does not reveal truth, it removes noise. And removing noise is not the same as discovering what listens. Silence still appears to something. Even in deep sleep, even in unconsciousness, there is silence. When you sleep, there is silence, and if someone is knocked out in a boxing match, they are unconscious. Under anesthesia, there is silence. If silence revealed the truth, no one would wake up confused. So silence cannot be measure of truth. Inquiry. Ask, who am I? What is real? But inquiry operates through language, memory, comparison, reasoning. All inquiry depends on the same conjunctive machinery it attempts to transcend. The brain questioning itself cannot step outside of itself, it can only rearrange conclusions. Inquiry can expose false ideas, it cannot expose what is prior to ideas. It clears the room, it does not create the space. Effort. Effort implies a goal, a lack, a future state. Effort strengthens the sense of a doer. The doer is the very assumption being questioned. Effort refines behavior, effort trains skills, effort does not dissolve the one who is efforting. You cannot effort your way out of effort. You cannot use striving to end striving. Control cannot dissolve the need to control. A method cannot end belief in methods. Time cannot deliver what is not in time. Thought cannot stop another thought. The one trying to stop thought is made of thought. When effort is used to end effort, effort is reinforced. Surrender. Surrender sounds opposite to effort. Psychologically, it is still an action. The mind says, I will stop trying so something can happen. That is still strategy, still expectation, still time. True surrender cannot be practiced because practice is control. The moment surrender becomes a method, it ceases to be a surrender. The moment surrender is practiced, control has already returned. When letting go is intentional, something is still being held. When surrender is expected to produce peace, surrender becomes bargaining. Prayer. Prayer appears different, but it follows the same structure. Someone here, someone higher there, a request sent upward, an answer awaited. Even scientifically, prayer activates the same circuits as internal dialogue. The brain speaks to itself using imagined authority to regulate fear, hope, guilt, or uncertainty. This is not wrong, it is functional, but it does not reveal anything new. Nothing arrives, nothing descends, nothing intervenes. What changes is the nervous system state, not reality. Prayer can calm like breathing, like reassurance, like repetition. But calming the system is not discovering truth. If prayer worked as believed, it would alter facts. Bodies would stop aging, disease would reverse, accidents would pause, death would negotiate. Yet those who pray most still age, fall ill, lose, and die. Not because prayer failed, but because prayer was never addressing life itself. It was addressing fear about life, and fear is real, but fear is not truth. The common error, silence, meditation, inquiry, effort, surrender, all are experiences. There is still doer behind it. They come and go, they depend on the brain, they alter states. What is being sought is not a state, it does not arrive, it does not deepen, it does not vanish. It is present during destruction, during disturbance, during noise, during confusion, during clarity. Nothing special is required for it to be. Awareness is not produced by practice. Practice changes what appears in awareness. No brain scan has ever shown awareness increasing, only neutral activity patterns changing. Awareness is the condition in which all states are noticed. You cannot use a state to reach the condition for states. And what happens when misunderstanding ends? Nothing collapses, life continues. Breath continues, awareness continues. Unimpressed, unmoved, unconditional. Nothing is achieved, nothing is gained, nothing is added. What collapses is the assumption that something was missing. Nothing adds more value or less, not because of meditation, not because of silence, not because of inquiry, not because of surrender or pure or prayer, but because it was never elsewhere. Nothing was hidden, nothing was waiting. The system was simply busy. Busy trying, busy improving, busy fixing, busy running, busy applying methods. Meditation did not bring it closer. Silence did not deepen it. Inquiry did not uncover it. Surrender did not allow it. Prayer did not create it. They were activities layered on top of what was already present, like searching for a glass while wearing them. The brain can only modify its own activity. It cannot step outside the field in which activity appears. So every method, no matter how refined, kept attention moving. And what is always present is not found through movement when effort relaxes. Not as technique, but because it was seen as unnecessary. Nothing new appears. Only the absence of the chase. Not peace achieved, not insight attained, just the recognition that it was never missing. The body is still aging, The mind still remembers. The story still stitches memory together. The image of me still arises and fades. But the belief that this is me is real, that the body is the self, that life is limited to these memories, this belief is no longer held. Fear of death, fear of loss, attachment, longing, these were always tied to that false identification. Now they are seen clearly for what they are, movements of attention, not reality itself. What remains beyond body, beyond story, beyond name, cannot be defined, cannot be grasped, cannot age, cannot die, cannot diminish, because it was never born. It takes its rightful position not above, not after, not elsewhere, but as the background in which all appearances come and go. The body is still here. The mind is still here, but the I that believed it owned them is no longer present. And so, what was false becomes evident. And so, what was feared because it believed it was born and would die with the body is now seen to belong to nothing that dies. What was once called me was never the knower of life. It was only attention mistaking itself for a separate story. Now, the undefined, the immediate, the ever-present takes its place. No effort, no chasing, no direction, no waiting, simply what was always here, there, everywhere.